will have the ability to pay restitution.
Courtroom, you racist. 22 years. Racist.
You just a woman with a robe on. You a woman, human being, just like I am. Okay. All that criminal spitting out his mouth.
Mr. Miles, I'm going to ask this question again.
There ain't no motherfucking no shit. Jesus won't run. Kill.
You're just a woman in a robe. A convicted batterer erupts in a torrent of insults while a robber's racist rage rewrites his sentence. What happens when criminals lash out at the very system holding them accountable? This is the explosive true crime tale of three men, Michael Gaines, Manson Bryant, and Alto Miles, whose courtroom meltdowns reveal the breaking point of justice, from a Kansas inmate's vicious tirade against a prosecutor to an Ohio robber's profanity-laced fury that backfired spectacularly, and a Cincinnati killer's godlike delusions derailing his plea. These cases capture the raw, unfiltered chaos of defiance in the dock. Join us as we dissect these gripping stories, where outbursts lead to harsher fates, and ponder: does courtroom rage ever help, or does it seal a defendant's doom? Michael Gaines, the spitting inmate's vicious tirade.
You gonna raise your voice at me?
Oh my God.
You raise your voice to me, I raise my voice to you. You just in a road.
What? You raised your voice to me. I raised my voice to you. What starts as a sentencing hearing spirals into a barrage of hate. How does a single act of battery escalate into courtroom warfare? We begin in Wichita, Kansas, on July 17, 2008, where Michael Gaines, a 40-year-old HIV-positive inmate, turned his sentencing into a profanity-laced war zone. Gaines had been convicted of 2 counts of battery on a law enforcement officer after allegedly spitting in the faces of 2 Sedgwick County deputies during a jail clinic altercation on February 14, 2008. The incident, occurring at the Sedgwick County Jail, terrified the officers, who feared HIV transmission, though medical experts testified the risk was negligible, less than 0.1% per CDC data. Under Kansas law, KSA 21-3413, this elevated the charges to felonies, despite no actual transmission. At sentencing before District Judge Rebecca Pilshaw in Sedgwick County District Court, Gaines was given the chance to speak. Instead, he erupted, "You're just a woman in a robe." Respect goes both ways. He accused the court of a racial program and mocked the proceedings.
Justice. Yeah, okay, justice.
You call this justice? Yeah, okay, justice. Targeting Assistant District Attorney Kevin O'Connor, Gaines unleashed a torrent. "You punk, maggot mother feeder. You should have died when you were a baby, stillborn." Deputies dragged him out as he yelled, "Maggot! Anytime, Mr. G, shut up, punk." The outburst, lasting over 5 minutes and captured on video, went viral, viewed millions of times on YouTube and covered by the Wichita Eagle and Keiki News. Gaines appealed, arguing HIV evidence inflamed the jury and his sentencing was biased due to the outburst, but the Kansas Court of Appeals upheld it in 2012. Gaines serves at Hutchinson Correctional Facility, eligible for parole in 2025. This case sparked national debates on HIV stigma in courts, with advocates like the ACLU noting it exacerbated misconceptions, while supporters argued it highlighted inmate disrespect. Manson Bryant, the robber's racist fury,
Will have the ability to pay restitution.
Courtroom, you racist. 22 years.
"Fuck your courtroom, you racist ass buckanay." A glimmer of remorse vanishes in a racist tirade. Can one meltdown erase years of bad decisions? Next, we travel to Painesville, Ohio, on March 1, 2019, where Manson Bryant, a 32-year-old career criminal, unleashed an epic racist rant that backfired spectacularly. Bryant and co-defendant D'Angelo Smith had broken into a man's trailer home in Perry Township on July 13, 2018, holding him at gunpoint and robbing him of $1,200 cash, jewelry, and electronics. Convicted after trial of aggravated burglary, aggravated robbery, kidnapping, abduction, and 3 counts of having weapons while under disability, Ohio Revised Code Section 2923.13, Bryant faced sentencing before Judge Eugene Lucci in Lake County Common Pleas Court, a judge who had previously sentenced him to 4 years in 2014 for another robbery. Bryant initially showed remorse. "I've made a lifetime of bad decisions.
I respect you. I respect the decision that you made.
I respect you, sir. I don't want to die in prison moved." Lucci sentenced him to 22 years, below the 28-year maximum, considering Bryant's parole status and the victim's testimony that no physical harm occurred. But as deputies led him away, he screamed, "Maggot! Suck my at the bench." Lucy, stunned, reconsidered. "Remember when I said you showed remorse? I was mistaken. The defendant has shown me that he has no remorse whatsoever." He upped the sentence to 30 years, 11 years on one count, 17 on another, plus 3 years for weapons. Under Ohio Revised Code Section 2929.14, citing the outburst as evidence of unrepentant danger, Bryant appealed, arguing the outburst didn't reflect lack of remorse for the crime. In June 2022, the Ohio Supreme Court agreed, State vs. Bryant, 2022 Ohio 2021, ruling judges can't enhance sentences merely because the defendant had an outburst or expressed himself in a profane and offensive way. Bryant's 8-year addition was vacated, reducing his term to 22 years. Now 38, he serves at Lake Erie Correctional Institution, with parole eligibility in 2038. The case, reported by News 5 Cleveland and the Morning Journal, ignited discussions on sentencing fairness, racial bias in Ohio courts, where black defendants receive 20% longer sentences per sentencing project data, and courtroom outbursts as protected speech.
God damn it. Fuck y'all with me, you got 75 million motherfuckers are paying my taxes.
Alto Miles, the quadruple killer's God complex. "Ha ha, you aren't God, I'm God." A killer's plea devolves into delusional horror. What happens when mental illness collides with courtroom rage? We conclude in Cincinnati, Ohio, on October 27, 2023, where Alto Miles, a 46-year-old with schizophrenia, disrupted a plea hearing with a godlike outburst. Miles was accused of a 2020 spree killing. On April 10th, he fatally shot his ex-girlfriend Tasha Mason, 35, and her friend Bridget Carter, 56, in jealousy-fueled rage over Facebook posts, then killed William Bowen III, 28, for a prior beating, and Michael Eves, 47, as a cover-up. Facing 4 counts of aggravated murder and weapons charges, Miles initially risked the death penalty, but Judge Christopher Wagner ruled it out in 2023 due to his mental illness. Ohio Revised Code Section 2929.03. Strapped to a restraint chair with a spit mask after prior outbursts, Miles was set to plead guilty to life without parole. But when Wagner asked, "Do you wish to plead guilty to these 4 counts of aggravated murder?" Miles erupted,
God, motherfucker, God.
"Ha ha ha ha! You aren't God, motherfucker! I'm God!" He yelled profanities, laughing maniacally for 10 to 15 minutes, refusing verbal assent despite signing the plea. Then things got really crazy, Wagner noted, as Miles shouted at spectators, sparking hallway arguments among victims' families. The hearing ended. A second evaluation was ordered, delaying trial to May 2025. Miles's case, covered by Local 12, the Cincinnati Enquirer, and WCPO, underscores mental health in court. Prior outbursts led to Zoom appearances. Now, 47 at Hamilton County Jail, his competency hearing is December 14, 2024. Diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia in 2021, per court records, Miles has a history of hospitalizations, raising questions about treatment versus punishment. This horror highlights Ohio's crisis. Over 10,000 mentally ill individuals cycle through jails annually, Ohio Department of Mental Health data, with outbursts like Miles's complicating due process. Gaines with his venom, Bryant with his racism, and Miles with his delusions, pushed courtrooms to the brink. Their actions reveal a dangerous defiance of justice. What drives such contempt? As these cases spark debates on security and mental health, one thing is clear: the bench demands respect, and defiance comes at a steep price. If you or someone needs help, call 988, Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. or 1-800-799-7233, National Domestic Violence Hotline. Share your thoughts below, and stay tuned for more true crime stories that shake the foundations of justice.